Hello and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, people. And yeah, another upload today. Listen, we've already uploaded. Check out the Premier League preview with Prime. That will be a weekly thing. We'll try and make that weekly as well when we both got time. Shout out to Prime as always. Um, we've also got a stream with Melon and Alfie. What we should do. It's not 100% confirmed, but it should be at 10 if that stream does go ahead. So also come and check that out as well. But we're also just doing another upload today. We're doing another upload today because this is probably the best time to talk about West Ham news when it's just like non-match previews and match reactions. Because I know a lot of people actually on the channel enjoy this kind of content more when I'm talking about West Ham and it's not a match preview, it's not a match reaction where I'm just talking about the general news of the case. I know a lot of people do that on YouTube as well. I try and do it on things where it's not just rumors. I don't want to just do it on any sort of rumor because I'd be here all day and I'll be talking about hypotheticals that most of the time where it's probably not true. However, with this time, it's been confirmed by pretty much every source under the sun, and it hasn't come to a surprise to literally anyone as well. Julian Lopetegui's had a fight with Todibo, and it happened after the Arsenal game, which explains why Todibo, um, yeah, is wasn't in the squad against Leicester. And we'll talk about the Wolves game like in detail tomorrow, but we'll briefly talk about it today. Obviously, just come and get involved in the stream tomorrow at 10:30. We'll be doing a match preview for Wolves tomorrow, and yeah, there's that. Obviously, against Leicester, we lined up with a centre back partnership of Mavropanos and Kilman instead of Todibo and Kilman. Now we're showing that even though we conceded goals under that centre back partnership as well, Todibo and Kilman they bounce off each other well. Pause. Um, Todibo has good recovery pace. They both have got good ball playing ability. Todibo's better in the air, decent defenders as well. And they've both had good seasons, to be honest with you. They've had good individual performances. It's just the defensive structure that's let them down, um, which is why I'm so angry at the manager all the time because we have better players than this. We have better players than what they're showing right now. And that's why I blame it everything on the manager. Everything. Literally everything. Um, and I know Todibo has had a history of this. I discussed it with a couple of you guys before when Todibo actually signed for the club. I remember a couple of you in the chat were even talking about his previous relationships with managers and stuff. And I'm not going to say everything I know on here. I'm not an ITK. I'm just on everything that I've read and heard on my like reliable sources, like online and stuff, because that's for them to say and not for me to say. But when you know the clarity, when you have all the information and all the clarity to do with the club, it's kind of like alarming in itself to know more than you should. The reason why I say that is because we already know it's a bit of a circus around West Ham. It always has been under this ownership, but it kind of makes it a lot worse when you know everything, when you know every detail, because you can't get your head around the logic and some of the decisions that are being made. But that is West Ham. That is West Ham United for you. Um, and it doesn't surprise me that Todibo tried to attack Lopetegui, but the only thing that surprised me about that, though, surely if that happens, you take him off at half time. You're a bit of a pussy. When you got punched in the face and you didn't take him off at half time. That kind of tells you all you need to know about the guy. You have no character. You have no structure to yourself in terms of your own character. You have no integrity. You have no morals. Once you get punched in the face by a player, well, you're gonna be a little pussy and keep him on the pitch. Obviously, we would have been angry if he took him off for Mavropanos at half time because Mavrobozo is a terrible defender. Um, However, if we knew all the reasons, I'd at least understand why he was taken off. But I also definitely understand why you got attacked allegedly by Todibo. My respect for Todibo has gone even higher. People are going to be like, oh, don't endorse violence and all that. Do you know what? After what I've seen after the Premier League, I think he deserves a punch. Maybe not from one of the fans, like wildly, but from one of the players. If it's from one of these people that you're trying to coach and you're putting up these type of coaching performances, I completely understand. Completely understand why you've been absolutely lamped in the fucking face. I would have done the same thing. I was surprised, like someone like, listen, it could have been worse. You could have had Antonio punch you in the face. Then you couldn't hide. Apparently, he hid his like marks with makeup or whatever it was. You couldn't hide it with Antonio. Imagine if it was like even Sufal or like Suchek or like one of these like tall, like strong guys in the dressing room. Even Kudus, I reckon Kudus can I reckon Kudus can throw hands. I don't know about anyone else. Maybe Guido Rodriguez, maybe Edson Alvarez, just because they look like well, not bouncers. They just look like they've got that crackhead energy. So if you got lamped by any of them as well, it could have been much worse. But Todibo looks like one of the strongest people in the squad as well. So that must have hurt. That must have hurt. Bro, fully connected with your face. That's hilarious. But it does actually look like we need to lose on Monday. Like we need to lose because I never want this team to lose. Usually, I've only ever wanted the team to lose when it was under Pellegrini because I knew Moyes was going anyway. So it's kind of like it kind of is what it is. I never really wished for us to lose the games that when Moyes was about to be sacked because I kind of knew when he was going and when he wasn't going. Under Pellegrini, obviously, I wasn't doing YouTube when Pellegrini was manager, but I remember when we actually beat Chelsea, I thought Chelsea were going to finish us off. Pause. But he kept his job and then ended up getting sacked against Leicester at home. Funny enough, we also beat Southampton as well. I think beating Southampton and Chelsea kept his job for another couple of weeks. I feel sorry for the Antonios of this world. I guess Mark Noble, even though because he's still at the club. Even if I don't like Cresswell to an extent as well because they've been here for years. I guess Fabianski has also seen Pellegrini as well. He was literally signed under him. They've seen so many times where these situations have happened, and they've been at the club for so long. And I know it hasn't happened for a while, but I bet they're fucking sick of it. Like before the Moyes situation, they were sick of it. Probably it had happened for a while, but they're probably sick of falling out with managers. Probably sick of seeing players fall out with managers. Probably sick of seeing maybe not just players not pulling their weight, but like managers failing them, and maybe the bad hiring of managers because they got to go out in the media and back him. But I said that he lost the dressing room from time ago. There was rumors about Guido Rodriguez. Like I knew he lost the dressing room after the Chelsea game. The reason why I knew that is not because I'm an ITK. I don't go on YouTube or Twitter to pretend that I know information and then kind of pretend that nothing happened when I get it wrong. I'm not one of them type of people. People on Twitter and YouTube that pretend they've got sources and stuff. I'm a regular guy that reads what I read, but I don't do videos on everything that I read. So with this situation, here's what I'm gonna say. When against Chelsea, he took Guido Rodriguez off in the 30 or something minute. Now that would have been fine because Guido Rodriguez was bad, but the reason why Guido Rodriguez was bad was because of Lopetegui's tactics. You can say the same with Alvarez, Mavropanos, whoever else it was on the day. Because I repeated it a lot of times, he went to a man-to-man system. He went to a man-to-man system to man-mark everyone on the pitch. And he put Alvarez and Rodriguez on Palmer and Jackson. So he put two of the most mobile Chelsea players versus the two most immobile West Ham players. And he put Souček on. My problem was, a lot of people were shit on that day. Paquetá was shit on that day. Alvarez was bad. Mavropanos, etc. We've seen everyone bad, but the reason why everyone was so bad was because of the way we were structured, the way we were set out, defending wise and attacking wise, etc. It's funny now how everyone is unanimously agreed that Lopetegui should go. When I was saying this after Chelsea, I was saying this after Tottenham, and I got called negative, not on YouTube, but on Twitter, because it's Twitter. People were like, oh, it's so harsh, and all the teams that beat us are way better than us. Tottenham are way better than us. Did you see Tottenham against Bournemouth? In terms of squad, you could actually debate the squads. Now, Chelsea are having a really good season, but I expect you to put up a fight. And I've seen worse West Ham sides beat better Chelsea sides. Doesn't give you a right to lose, let alone a divine right to win. Doesn't mean, it's okay if we lose. It's okay if we lose against Aston Villa at home. It's okay if we draw against Brentford and Fulham away. Because people's excuses were, we lost 5-0 last year, or we lost it last year compared to drawing this year. Go fuck yourself. Because now you're all conforming to the same side. Stay on that side. I don't do the whole stay on that side business, but you guys deserve this. You guys deserve this. When people are talking about, this is what all the Moyes out people deserve. No, this is what you lot deserve. Because I don't pick sides between Moyes and Lopetegui because I'm not a fucking weasel. I wanted both managers gone for two completely different reasons. This is way worse than last season. And the reason why I'm not as angry as last season is because I had to put up with last season. I had to put up with all the batterings last season. We look even more disjointed. Last season, it was just a case of the style of play compared to the players we have did not suit each other. And every time you go 1-0 down, you have to then come out of your shell to actually chase the game. And then apart from the odd scrape now and then, we don't really know what we're doing on the pitch. This time, we don't even know we've got all them negatives from last season as well. But supposedly this is meant to be possession-based football. This ain't possession-based football. This is nonsense. This doesn't even look like possession-based. I know we've had the ball more, but it's not good possession-based football. I didn't specifically ask possession-based football because we have to play the West Ham way or anything. I asked for a certain style of play because to get the best out of these players. I don't know what the fuck the style of play is because sometimes we're sitting back and we're sitting high up. I've said this millions of times. I don't need to repeat myself again. But these people online that conform to both sides, the neutrals that conform to the Moyes in people because they've not watched West Ham and they don't know anything about West Ham, but because you've got a podcast and because you've got a name for yourself, you feel like you can make a name for yourself by just chatting about every club under the sun, even though you don't watch them. Everyone has an opinion now. Everyone has an opinion. I do agree with freedom of speech. Maybe not anymore. Maybe not anymore. Not when it comes to football. I think honestly, unless you watch the club, you shouldn't be allowed to talk about these clubs you actually don't watch. But listen, people can do what they want, I guess. Freedom of speech and all that. Fucking hell. This is where we are, people. This is where we are. This is me just ranting to a camera at this point. I'm just tired of it. We actually need to lose. And it's funny because this is the most El Sacico possible. We'll go through it tomorrow. But there's a lot of storylines that could come out of this. Both fan bases want to lose the game. This is a problem. The fact that it even came to a fact that apparently Lopetegui was about to be sacked and then they changed their mind because he pleaded for his job is funny in itself. The guy was begging because he knew this is his last chance to actually manage a decent-sized club. I'm not saying we're a massive club, despite the chant, but a decent-sized club because you're going to have to go to fucking Al Jazeera after this or maybe just retire from football. How about that? So then again, it is what it is. It is what it is. When it comes to like appointments, whether it's Graham Potter, I guess I'd take Potter. Out of all the options there, you probably get the best out of the players we have. I know nothing about the Danish manager that started once. I know nothing about him. I know we're only going for managers out of work because they don't want to take a risk on compensation and all that. Well, look at where that's got us now, you fucking dwarf. You fucking senile dwarf. Look at where that's got us now. Because you didn't want to pay compensation for Amarim. We're here now. Under Amarim, we would have been where Brighton are right now. By a long shot with a transfer window that he would have wanted with Tim Steidten in charge. That's the saddest part. And all you had to do was pay 9 million or whatever it was. That's why we're not going to get a Michael Carrick when people want Carrick. That's why we're not going to get the Stuttgart manager when people want a Stuttgart manager like myself. That's why we're not going to get Carlos Corberan or whoever managers in work that you guys would have wanted. This is why we're not getting them. Because we're getting free agent managers. And listen, you can get a good free agent manager. We've discussed this many times before. Discussed it on Omar's channel, Lewis's channel, everyone's channel. You can get Conte Sal, you can get Maurizio Sarri, you can get Graham Potter. Those are the three that I take. Anyone else? No. Apparently, Edin Terzic actually rejected West Ham. Funny enough. And it's because of the previous relationship with the owner, which is funny enough, the opposite of what I thought was going to happen. Because it must have been bad under the times under Bilic for you to not come back. So he didn't even reject the Roma job or wasn't considered for the Roma job because he was waiting for West Ham. He just didn't want to go to West Ham, but didn't want to go to Roma either. He just didn't want to go to either club. So there you go, people. There you go. But how do you lose the dressing room in 5 games? 5 games. That's why, by the way, Areola is not even on the bench. Because Todibo and Areola are injured, but they're not injured. Because people forget, Areola was actually injured, came back into the squad, and then was back out of the squad when he wasn't playing. Now, I understand why he was dropped. I do understand why he was dropped. Not that the reasons why he was dropped was justified, because Fabianski has the same problems with distribution as well, which is the dumbest thing ever. People can say the shot stopping wasn't as good with Areola. There were also times where he was making big saves in games. So I'm not really trying to hear it all in full. We need a new goalkeeper next year anyway. But also, how can you fall out with players that are not playing? How do you even do that? I get it, it's like people want to play and stuff, but that's quite a normal thing to happen in a club where like players demand for more game time and shit like that. But at the same time, it's November, December, and you're falling out with players over game time. And some of these players have only just arrived. You're falling out with players and they're injured. You're falling out with players and they're suspended. You're falling out with the players and they're senior players. And he only has got the job right now because he begged for it, because there's no logical reason for why you've fallen out with the players and you still allow a manager to overstay his welcome whilst not having, the dressing room on side. So there you go. Make sure to like the video, people. Come and join us at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. I think we'll be streaming tonight. So yeah, we'll be joined by Alfie and Melon hopefully. And yeah, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. Trying to hit 1K as soon as possible. Let's try and hit 650 subscribers by the end of the year. 650. The target was 500, so we've already overachieved. Let's try and hit 650. But yeah, see you guys later. Goodbye.